I think we can start. Welcome to our webinar, Unify, Analyze and Act, how SAP Business Data Cloud drives better decisions. Let me introduce myself. My name is Daria Tureshova. I'm a sales manager at ACBaltica. Today with me is my colleague Maksym Ablameika. He is our SAP BW and BI senior consultant and also certified consultant for BDC. Hi, Max. How are you?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for asking, Daria. Everything is fine.
Yeah, good to hear. Good to hear. Today, we will hold the webinar, and here you can see the agenda of the meeting. We will start with a brief introduction of our company. Then we'll proceed with key features of SAP Business Data Cloud, SAP Datasphere, Databricks, Analytics Cloud. Also, we'll dive deeper into AI and innovations. Then Maksym will show you the demo of the solution. We will tell some words about solution benefits, and then we will have a short Q&A session. So if you have any questions during our webinar, you can write them down in the chat or leave them in Q&A session. Our company, ACBaltica, is an SAP Platinum partner and also the member of United VARs organization. We have been working with SAP for more than 20 years, and our team consists of 140 SAP specialists who delivered around 150 projects globally. We're headquartered in Vilnius in Lithuania, but also have representative offices in Warsaw, in Poland, and also an office in the United States in State Virginia. Here's a brief information about our expertise. Generally, we have two departments in our company. The first department is responsible for customer experience products, both cloud and on-prem. And the second department works with the ERP and S/4HANA, development and integration, and also analytics, budgeting, planning, and reporting. And that's the subsidiary which is Max the part of. And now I give the floor to you, Max, to proceed with the SAP Business Data Cloud with our topic.
Yeah, thanks, Daria. I'll quickly take over the screen control. Perfect. Yeah, so thanks again, Daria, for the introduction. And hello, everyone. Thank you for being with us today. Thank you for making time and joining us. So I'm Maksym Ablameika, and I've been working in BI and analytics area of SAP for almost 12 years now, and I will guide you through today's session. So we will start with a bit of context. So SAP has very rich history and industry experience on data analytics and warehousing platforms. And I guess, as many of you, I've witnessed how SAP's strategy evolved over time as they were adapting to market needs. And today, in the times when there's a lot of uncertainties, like how do you benefit from AI, how do you manage all of those sources and systems, TCO of all of that is growing. How do we still manage to provide governance and robust data fast to our business users? And how do we do all of that without adding even more complexity and many, many others? So to address those, SAP has introduced Business Data Cloud, which is actually a bundle of best-of-breed data and analytics solutions from SAP. So Business Data Cloud, BDC for short, brings together data integration, data warehousing, AI and ML workflows, analytics, and planning all in one place. It connects SAP, of course, and non-SAP sources into a governed semantic layer. We can think of it as, let's say, common enterprise data language. BDC also packages trusted domain data as data products. We will be hearing this term a lot today, as they are basically governed data sets domain data sets with business semantics, and they can be reusable. And they consist of data for several domains, for dedicated domains. These data products can be consumed for dashboards and planning. They can be used in ML workflows or accessed by third-party BI and SQL tools. And on top of that, it's true. It's SAP embedded Copilot/chatbot, which brings AI to analytics and planning. So there's plenty of pretty useful ML and Gen AI functionalities, which we will describe a little bit later. And today we will cover all those aspects and try to gain more understanding how it all works together and where is true synergy here. So we will cover what exactly BDC comprises and what new feature it delivers, such as, for instance, insight applications, data products, and zero-copy integration. And next, as Daria mentioned, we will take a quick product tour to see how it all works end-to-end. So, as we've said before, SAP Business Data Cloud is a comprehensive data and analytics suite. It combines multiple components into one single platform. So these components are, first one is SAP Datasphere for data warehousing, data integration and consolidation, and providing business semantics. The second would be SAP Analytics Cloud, which is a powerful front end for BI dashboarding, reporting, and planning. The third would be SAP BW 7.5 or BW4 as private cloud edition, which is intended to support legacy BW and is transitioned to cloud. And the fourth would be Databricks for data engineering and ML workflows, seamlessly integrated into BDC. So all of these are pre-integrated as a single software as a service offering, and the power of it is in enabling these four pieces to work together in close and almost seamless integration. So we will overview each of them in a few minutes. But first, let's shortly discuss several main concepts and features BDC has. So apart from bundling Datasphere, Databricks, SAP Analytics Cloud, and BW, BDC also offers a great feature, which is pre-delivered and pre-configured business content that's ready to install and consume and consumption. But it's actually, let's say, on steroids compared to classic business content from SAP. So those are called data products and insight apps. So insight apps for intelligent applications, that's a newer naming for them, are pre-delivered analytical applications that come with everything needed to start using them right away, including data connections, pre-configured models, and ready-to-use SAP Analytics Cloud stories or analytic applications. So they work almost like installing, let's say, an app from App Store or Google Play on your smartphone. But behind this simplicity, however, there's a lot of happening automatically. So, for instance, semantic models and views and data products and SAC stories and analytic apps are being deployed automatically in the background, as well as task chains or data flows and role templates that are needed to secure the app are pre-configured as well. So, in short, installation and consumption is quite simple, but there's a lot of things that happen automatically, which drastically speeds up end-to-end implementation and reduces time to value. So now data products, it's even a more important concept that BDC introduces that makes managing data in, let's say, general sense, more simple and transparent. So what are data products? So they basically is a self-contained business-ready data sets. They include business context and semantic meaning of the data, and they are available for consumption and sharing within BDC and outside BDC. So they can be several types. They can be SAP managed. So these are data products that are delivered out of the box for various lines of business by SAP itself. They can be custom ones. So these are basically the products that you build by yourself inside the company. They're custom managed. Or they can be third-party data products, which you can onboard and combine with other types of data products. They are basically made by SAP partners or other companies and shared outside. So the examples could be, for instance, customer data, production data, working capital data, accounts receivable or payable, and etc., etc. So generally, we can think of it as a, let's say, data mesh framework, practical realization for treating data as reusable, easily shareable, business-oriented assets, which basically make data management simple, more transparent, and, let's say, value-driven. So for example, simply installing working capital inside app, you get a full-blown analytic application, which you can see in the left part of the screen, which is already connected to all necessary data in US4 or Ariba or SuccessFactors. In our example for working capital application, it's S4, of course, so it's well thought and well designed, and it encapsulates all of the necessary metrics such as net working capital, cash conversion cycle, DSO, DPO, and many, many others. And of course, they can also be enhanced if you need something in addition. So basically, after installing any of those, you also get the data model and data products deployed, which can be used in other scenarios or shared within BDC or outside. And it's also worth mentioning that inside applications, they are available for each line of business, and the list is constantly growing. So to simplify all of that and to conclude, so how it was before, and it's actually still relevant for the, let's say, majority of existing third-party solutions, is shown on the above image. They previously had to proceed with all of those steps in order to build and secure a dashboard or a report. But now, using whatever inside app from the large set of pre-delivered apps for various lines of business, the whole process is drastically simplified, as shown in the bottom image. So the same applies to data products, actually. So the actions for them is also drastically reduced because you just simply publish a ready-to-consume data set without necessity to proceed with a long modeling chain. So let's shortly overview one of the main components of SAP BDC, which is SAP Datasphere. This software as a service solution allows you to integrate, transform, and enrich data in the landscape while keeping the context and semantics of this data. So the data itself can come from various on-premise and cloud environments, no matter where it resides. So its main focus is in integrating SAP application and non-SAP application data and presenting it in curated and semantically rich data product formats. So generally, you consume high-level semantically rich models later with SAP Analytics Cloud, for example, for analytical and planning use cases. Other use cases can include machine learning, no-code dashboards, or access to the built models from third-party systems if needed. So let's quickly see how Datasphere covers two different use cases, two different scenarios: the out-of-the-box scenario, which can be seen on the left part of the screen, and the custom scenario on the right part of the screen. So the first out-of-the-box scenario, SAP Datasphere provides ready-to-use data models that serve as the base for inside apps that we were overviewing previously. So these models are stored in a secured SAP managed space that defines how data is accessed and what users can actually see. In simple terms, Datasphere acts as a data model layer. It prepares and secures the data before it's visualized in inside applications. So this scenario is supported for SAP source system at the moment, such as S/4HANA, Ariba, and SuccessFactors. But that, of course, would be too easy if you could just use everything out of the box, which does not work in the real world that often, as we all know. So if we need to enhance the pre-delivered functionality, the second scenario comes into play. So second custom scenario is to use SAP Datasphere to create custom models on top of SAP managed or custom or third-party data products or their mixture. And it's all done in customer managed space. And you have flexibility in creating the model, combining any data you want. And you can also, which is crucial, set up replication of the data into SAP Datasphere or virtual consumption, basically federation of the data. Now let's shortly overview the purpose of Databricks within SAP BDC. It serves as an advanced analytics and AI/ML layer, enabling data scientists and analysts to build, train, and operationalize predictive models directly on top of business data. So it enables pro code, data transformations, and data flows, ML workflows, Python plus SQL notebooks, PySpark, MLflow, for analyzing performance of the models and data. So basically a very well-known tool set for your data analysts and data scientists. So its main features are as follows. It supports the full cycle machine learning from experimentation to production, including generative AI and large language models, LLMs. It also provides data science environments and built-in visualization tools. It also provides data ingestion and transformation capabilities, thus enables using data engineering functionalities. And it also provides functionality of governance of all of those assets. So basically of structured and unstructured data, machine learning models, notebooks, dashboards, and files through Databricks Unity Catalog. But how do actually SAP Datasphere and Databricks work together within BDC? So SAP Datasphere focuses on mainly, let's say, on SAP application data, but not only, but non-SAP as well. And it presents it in a curated, semantically rich data product format. Databricks is ideal for large-scale data engineering and advanced ML/AI workflows. So integration within BDC between these two is quite seamless. You can keep certain data sets in Databricks while still exposing them to SAP Analytics and AI scenarios and vice versa. Integration actually happens as so-called zero copy sharing using Delta shared mechanism. And that simply means that the data is exposed in semantically rich model manner from Datasphere to Databricks, or actually vice versa. So no duplication of data happens and no physical data moving is needed. So for instance, integration scenario can be as follows, as we can see on this sample picture. So we can deploy out of the box or not out of the box, let's say custom data products A and B, as we can see on the screen from our SAP Datasphere. Then we can consume these data products in Databricks using zero copy approach in Databricks. So basically, then we can enhance these data products with, let's say, ML predicted data, again in Databricks, and then we can seamlessly consume this enhanced or newly created data product, which is data product C on the picture, in Datasphere for using it in modeling or for reporting and planning. So the integration works like that. And now we will briefly overview one of the main components of BDC, which is SAP Analytics Cloud. So its functionality includes BI dashboarding, reporting planning, and AI plus ML capabilities. It's actually a quite mature product with lots of functionalities, so we won't actually cover it right now at this section. But we've had dedicated webinars which were all about SAC with lots of details, so please reach us out if you'd like to get recordings. Yeah, and I also ask our colleagues to drop the links to them to the chat as well, if it's possible now. So yeah, in the context of BDC, SAP Analytics Cloud is a quite powerful front-end tool for BI reporting, planning, and basic predictive, all in one place. It sits directly on Datasphere semantic models, so you can use live connections with row-level security and authorizations preserved end-to-end. And for planning, SAC provides versioning, data actions, allocations, workflows, and many more, so finance and operation teams can plan and report in the same UI. So as a result, SAC functions as the presentation and planning layer of BDC, providing a single interface for reporting, analysis, and planning. And now let's get a short overview of AI and ML capabilities of BDC. So BDC enables organizations to be, let's say, AI ready because they get a solid and governed data set to feed AI and machine learning models, which is crucial because, as we all know, AI and ML models are only as good as the data behind them. So there are several AI enabling components in BDC. The first one would be Joule. It's SAP AI chatbot/assistant, which is available from scratch once you have your data loaded into BDC and have it in your report, as you can see on the screen on the left part. So you can ask it arbitrary questions like any LLM, like ChatGPT, for instance, and it will provide you the answers based on the data that you actually have in the report. So the second would be Databricks, which is de facto industry standard for machine learning workloads. So it's intended to cover this scenario when you, let's say, take a BDC data product, for instance, customer sales, you train a model, forecasting, churn, classification, or others. You can even train LLMs there, for instance, and you use model details and results for reporting and planning within BDC. And third would be built-in SAP Analytics Cloud capabilities, which allow you to perform forecasting, analyze relationships in data, perform simulation scenarios, and many more. And last but not least components, especially for companies that use BWs, SAP BWs, is BW Private Cloud Edition. It's a kind of an umbrella term for two versions, a version 7.5 and BW for HANA. So what's it actually for within BDC? It aims to protect existing BW investments because many customers run crucial ETL, delta extraction, and say many ABAP code, complex process chain logic in their BWs, and PCE, which stands for Private Cloud Edition, gives a managed landing zone to keep all of that running. And it's a, let's say, lower risk path to BDC because BW Private Cloud Edition coexists with Datasphere. It can coexist with Datasphere within BDC, and you basically continue operating BW workloads while pushing curated data into Datasphere's data products for enterprise sharing and SAC consumption. So I would think of it as, let's say, carve out gradual movements to Datasphere within BDC. So in practical terms, BW PCE acts as a bridge between legacy BW systems and BDC cloud stack. So it lets to keep existing BW-specific ETL with ABAP and other BW-specific stuff running with no disruption, while gradually shifting validated data and models into Datasphere for broader and cloud-based use. So now we will go through a sample scenario to show how BDC helps to respond to rising DSO, which is daily sales outstanding. And you see a short agenda on the screen. So generally, we will spot the signal in a dashboard in S/4HANA. We will install then an intelligent application. We will then enrich AR data in Databricks for delay predictions. And then we will unify S4 and BW and Databricks and BigQuery data in Datasphere and review the dashboard outcomes, which will illustrate predicted overdues and would lead to faster collections. So this scenario itself is intended to give you an overview of several components within BDC, but let's say it's really simplified for the sake of time efficiency, since we only have like 20 minutes. And also during some actions, we will likely need to wait a bit for some loading screens and stuff like that, just because it's a real demo system and we do not, unfortunately, have much resources there since they are quite limited. So now let's go into it. I'll just quickly stop sharing for a moment. And share my browser screen. I hope you can see it. So yeah, let's first describe let's say, a sample problem with which everything begins. So let's say our CFO is noticing a substantial decline in cash inflows during the routine dashboard review on S/4HANA side. So our CFO is troubled about possible liquidity problem. So in our particular example, it can happen as follows. So the interface that you see here is an interface of SAP S/4HANA Public Cloud Edition. We'll quickly enter all of the selection criteria and execute the sample dashboard. So in the account receivable overview screen, our CFO learns that the daily sales outstanding is obviously increasing over time. And yeah, an immediate and small disclaimer here, please note that this is a demo environment and all data here is, let's say, fictional and may not make much sense. It just serves to illustrate the concept. Because, yeah, like a 6,000 of days to collect receivables would be really sad. Well, yeah. And so the CFO sees actually some quite useful information as well here. For instance, regarding problematic receivables, like customers, which are the main contributors for high DSO, which are top debtors. But however, it's not quite enough to understand the causes and drivers, and there is definitely a need to investigate further. So we can start addressing this problem first by checking out one of the existing Insight applications for working capital. I was actually mentioning it previously. And this application first can be used to support our CFO with data for making decisions. So this app needs to be installed first. So we will quickly access the BDC demo cockpit. We will log in with a demo user. So basically, we can think of BDC cockpit as a, let's say, configuration hub of BDC. So since we're already here, let's just quickly mention what do we have here. So basically, we have intelligent applications and data packages section, which contains full list of apps, data packages with their corresponding data products, which are pre-delivered by SAP. They can be third-party or custom ones, basically ours. Then we have catalog and marketplace, which is basically used to discover, enrich, classify, and publish and share all types of data assets from and across your company. The assets, it's let's say an umbrella term for quite a bit of stuff. Could be even tables, can be views, analytic models, SAC stories, and many, many, many more. And we also have system landscape section, which allows us to monitor the connectivity of the system. It actually lists all of the bundle solutions and systems connected to our BDC and lets us identify some connectivity issues and perform some troubleshooting. So let's navigate to our application. It's called Working Capital Insights. We will quickly open it and quickly overview it. So we see the features of the app, we see the version, we see the documentation section. It's quite simplified in our case because usually there's like a lot of information with the list of KPIs, the list of attributes, and so on and so on. Here we can see the sample screenshots that allow us to learn how the app will look like. If we scroll a little bit further, we can see the data products that actually that our intelligent application comprises. And basically these data products will be installed along with this application. And if we scroll even further, we will see the content section, which basically lists all of other artifacts that will be installed along with the application. They can be different ones, like folders, like views, like analytic models, and so on and so on. What's crucial here, let's just memorize that the app is mainly built on journal entry data because it will be useful a little bit later. We could proceed with the installation of this app. But again, in the demo stand, the app is already installed so that we could move forward faster due to time restrictions. The important thing to mention is that when installing the application, you actually select your source system at one of the steps. So BDC uses this as a connection template. So you will provide actual connection credentials later after the installation. Actually now, like after installing the application, 2 additional steps would be assigning authorizations for the app and running the task chains that would load the data into the application, let's say. In this demo, we will skip these 2 steps due to time. So let's quickly jump to reviewing the application. I already have it opened. So the front end for the application is SAP Analytics Cloud. So basically you see the SAC interface here with all of the typical stuff. So generally report presents data on cash actuals and trends as well. And we can, let's say, immediately see that in the conversion cycle bar chart that DSO has increased a lot comparing to previous year. And what else we can say if we, let's say, navigate to AR tab, accounts receivable tab. So we can see the actual trend of DSO rising, which is disturbing. And we can, let's say, slice the data into customers. We can also see overdue and non-overdue receivables. But this alone is not quite sufficient to fully understand the dynamics of DSO and what's even more crucial, to anticipate potential payment delays. So to gather even deeper insights, we could try to explore additional data sources to identify factors that contribute to payment delays and develop an ML model in Databricks to predict payment delays. So to do that, we will quickly go to Datasphere. So basically, we could share the corresponding data products, which I've mentioned already, which are journal entries, that are used to power the report with data. We could share them to Databricks to train an ML model, a simple regression model in this scenario, and then share it back to Datasphere to basically consume this enhanced data in the report. So the model will use the shared data to predict delays in payment dates based on actual historical data. So we go to Datasphere, so we can see interface of Datasphere here. We go to catalog and marketplace to look for the data products that we will then share to Databricks. Let's just give it a minute. It happens from time to time because, again, this is a demo stand. So we're okay now. Let's quickly look for journal entry data product. There's plenty of them. We need this one. So we will really quickly overview what we have here. So basically, we see the properties of it, like a specific APIs used even, and so on and so on. So again, to be fast, in our scenario, it's already shared to Databricks so that we could proceed faster. So basically, now that we've shared it, we can go to Databricks. Let me just quickly do that. Let us quickly navigate through the needed workspace. Again, a quick disclaimer here as well. Yeah, we need this one, 19,400. So yeah, basically in our scenario, all of the corresponding work has been already done and artifacts were prepared for demonstration purposes. So since Databricks is a more pro-code environment, a significant amount of work here is done in the form of notebooks. So we can see here, look at these type of files, notebook, notebook, notebook. So we see a bunch of them, each of which is dedicated to a specific piece of work. For instance, consuming data and data preparation, the experiment file for our regression model that's used for tracking the model's training runs, metrics, versions of the model, etc., etc. We can also see training and inference notebooks as well, and notebooks for sharing the final data set, the data product, back to Datasphere, which now contains delays predictions. So let's see it in Datasphere now. We will quickly go back. Since our, let's say, central hub for all the data products is catalog and marketplace, we will search it here. So the data set that we need, data product we need is payments delayed. Let's quickly open it. So basically, this is the one. This is the data product that was shared from Databricks. As we see, the original system is SAP Databricks. So basically, that's what we will be using later. So now we will investigate a little bit further to understand how Datasphere helps us to unify data. We will illustrate how can we power the report in our scenario with even more data. So let's say we have also historical customer payment data in our BW legacy system. And we also have customer risk segmentation data from Google BigQuery. So now let's quickly go to Data Builder, because basically it's the place where all of the modeling happens in Datasphere. Again, for demonstration purposes, the model has already been built. We'll quickly navigate to this space. There's a bunch of them. But first, we will quickly overview to, let's say, take a deeper dive in details into what's actually under the hood of the analytic model that is used to power the report itself. So basically, we see the view that sits directly under the analytic model. Let's quickly open it. So actually, that's a, let's say, relatively simple graphical view that is used to unify some slices of data, as we were mentioning. So first, it's AR data from our S4 system. We also have predicted delays data from Databricks. We also have our BW historic customer payments. And we also have customer resegmentation data from Google BigQuery. And this view, this artifact, it's what directly sits under the analytic model that is used actually to power the report. Let's quickly open it and overview it for a minute. So yeah, again, it's quite simple. It contains the view that we've just overviewed as a, let's say, central fact component and several, let's say, associations, in our case, to dates, to basically calendars with corresponding hierarchies, attributes, and stuff like that. So basically, each of these associations, it provides the possibility to use the corresponding semantics, let's say, hierarchies, namings, attributes in this model, and hence in the report as well. So now let's quickly get back to the report and see how it could look there. Again, for the sake of speed, it's already enhanced with the data that we overviewed previously. So let me quickly open the corresponding pages. We'll go to customer payment insights. Basically now contains the data from the enhanced model that we've just overviewed. So we actually see overdue receivables and expected delay days, which are predicted using Databricks, revealing that, for instance, a large share of receivables falls within the critical 30-day window. We also can get even a detailed invoice-based forecast with a number of days and predicted overdue receivables. Again, if we'd like, we, by the way, could use also BW historical payments in our model as well, but for demonstration purposes, we've skipped that for now. We can, of course, can also see top customers with top predicted overdue receivables as well. So as an outcome, finance can now use predicted payment dates to make cash flow forecasts more accurate. The receivables team can focus on high-risk customers and act before invoices go overdue. And our credit managers can adjust payment terms on or credit limits for customers with constantly recurring late payment patterns and so on and so on. So, and as the next step, we could also build a revenue forecast, for example. So given the data that we now have, it might look as follows. So as we see here, expected amounts are quite different from predicted amounts. Basically, since the predicted amounts are based on real, let's say, customer payments behavior in the past, it basically could lead to more realistic view on the expected real revenue. And as the outcome, this gives us a much clearer data-driven view of both incoming cash and potential risks ahead. So I believe that's it for the demo. I hope that despite a bunch of simplifications, you were able to get the understanding how BDC ties several components together and what value does it actually bring on the table. So thank you all for your attention, and back to you, Daria.
Thanks, Maksym. It was a very nice demo. And even for me, everything was more or less clear. Now let's find out how exactly can you benefit from using SAP BDC. First of all, with the platform, all your data lives in one trusted place. It's always up to date and connected to your business. And you also get the built-in tools for data governance, cataloging, and even AI and machine learning all in one spot. You don't have to juggle multiple vendors or tools. Everything here is designed to work together naturally. No mess integrations or patchwork systems. If you are using SAP, you can skip custom ETL and stop rebuilding SAP logic. The solution works with SAP data natively, which saves a lot of time, effort, and cost. And sure, some other cloud data warehouses promise endless flexibility, but that usually means more setup, more tuning, and more headaches, especially with SAP. We keep things simple and integrated. We use open standards and an object store, including Databricks, so you can scale up easily and keep storage and processing affordable. And finally, you start seeing value fast because everything is already connected. You don't waste time stitching together separate tools for data reporting and planning. And now, if you have any questions, and I see that there are some questions left in our Q&A session, if you would like to have a separate BDC discovery workshop or roadmap or use cases, you can reach out to us. We can also provide you with the BW upgrade session. Last but not least, is the proposal for BDC, Datasphere, or BW consultancy that is tailored for you. All this you can do if you reach out to our company, ACBaltica, and we will be happy to provide you with all these services. Following the QR code, you will find more information about SAP Business Data Cloud on our website. And now it's time for a Q&A session. The first question we have is from Emanuela Montes. Hello, we're planning to get BDC, but we already have BW. What to do with it? Good question, Max. How can you answer?
Yeah, actually, an excellent question because, so I'll try to be concise here. So basically, you have several options, and I guess one of the options we actually covered today, which would be BW Private Cloud Edition, and utilizing that. And so basically, one of the most, let's say, adequate and transparent option would be going for the approach that is called lift, shift, and innovate. Basically, I will try to, again, shortly describe what every word means from that approach. And basically, lift would be getting your existing BW system. It actually depends whether it's already in cloud or not, but I guess since the huge percentage of customers, they operate in on-premise BWs, I will be answering from that perspective. So basically, you simply lift your existing BW, your on-premise BW into the cloud. And actually, let's say compared to BW Bridge, which it's again an option. I will cover it a little bit later, I guess. But it allows you to run all of the functionality that you have in your current BW without literally no disruptions, because basically it's the same system, just in the cloud. It has basically everything that just on-premise BWs had. So lift stands for getting your existing BW on-premise to the cloud as a private cloud edition. Then is shifting. So basically, once you are in the cloud, you kind of can have start to extract the value from the what's already in your BW. So basically, you can leverage there's a dedicated instrument from SAP for that purpose, which allows you to expose, let's say, your BW info providers to the cloud as data products that we've mentioned multiple times here today. And actually, you can simply expose, let's say, your info objects, your ADSOs, your composite providers. I believe even multi-providers for 7.5 are also supported from recently. So basically, you can start like leveraging what's already in your BW, and you can expose those stuff for modeling scenarios to BDC to leverage this data in the cloud in the new scenarios. And basically, the third step would be innovate. It's a kind of a really broad term, and like it's a kind of a, let's say, an umbrella term for a bunch of actions to basically start, let's say, this discovery process of, let's say, okay, now we have our BW data, and we can combine it into in the new modeling scenarios, for instance. And what, for instance, there's a bunch of insight applications, intelligent applications that we can leverage, that we can install and get the models that they will give us, again, to use in the modeling scenarios, and so on and so on and so on. So again, this process can include, for instance, this scenario when you were leveraging your Open Hub license in your on-premise BWs. Now that SAP Datasphere kind of has a zero-copy approach to Google BigQuery, to Databricks, and if you, let's say, were using your BW data, exposing it using Open Hub license, and leveraging it for, let's say, ML scenarios in your Databricks, like a standalone Databricks, then you can eliminate that, because you can do exactly the same with no additional costs without paying for Open Hub license, just by leveraging the Databricks, which is already part of BDC. So yeah, I wanted to cover really quickly BW Bridge, but generally speaking, it's not a full-blown BW, but it's literally like a bridge with, let's say, a pretty strong focus on keeping the ingestion layer as is, and actually like implicitly pushing you to remodel the rest. So let's say it's a more temporary solution that would impose that you should take fast actions on remodeling and conversion of existing upper BW layers in Datasphere. So yeah, if simple, I would put it like that. Again, there's literally a lot of things to consider when making decision. So we could definitely help you with that. So feel free to reach us out regarding that. Given your context, we can help you decide which option to go for. So yeah, for the sake of time, I will stop here.
Yeah, I think it's a very serious topic for the discussion.
It is.
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't have much time, but of course, feel free to reach out. And the second question is from Carlos Alonso. Hi, could you explain the main differences between SAP BW and SAP Datasphere? Is Datasphere a successor to BW, or it's just built for new use cases?
Yeah, again, it's hard to be really concise here, but yeah, since they are like a really different and they are managed quite differently, they promote different approaches. So BW would be a more, let's say, classic on-premise, classically this robust data warehouse with lots of complexity and hence lots of legacy stuff, because it's been there for quite a lot of decades, let's say. So yeah, in Datasphere, it's a purely cloud-like solution. It's a software as a service by its nature. So like conceptually, BW brings on, let's say, more centralized and governed warehouse approach, I'd say. At the same time, Datasphere brings the idea of more flexible, to some regard, domain-oriented modeling, introducing, let's say, managed spaces, which are managed differently, data products, for instance, and federation across platforms as well. I'd say that BW is more SAP-centric, because Datasphere integrates natively with lots of non-SAP platforms, for instance, Databricks, BigQuery, etc., and the list is constantly growing. So it actually supports zero copy sharing between those systems that I've mentioned. So, but generally, BW is somewhere slightly more flexible, but more complex at the same time. And this complexity, it sometimes can be hard to manage, which can be shot on a feet. It can backfire. And but BW, again, it's maybe a little bit more knobs and buttons that you can toggle, but generally you can achieve pretty much the same in Datasphere, I'd say. Just some things here and there, they are done a little bit differently sometimes comparing to BW systems. So the bottom line would be, I'd say, Datasphere is, yes, it's SAP's strategic successor for BW for new clouds and data fabric use cases. But BW, again, it's a main support as well. But it just would be harder and harder, like gradually to support certain more modern scenarios. And in terms of integration, it's of course not as good as Datasphere is. So again, I'd put it like that to be concise.
Okay, thanks a lot. I have just reloaded the page, but I don't see any questions left. But if the questions arise after our meeting, you can reach out to our company via email or phones you see on your screen right now. And we will be happy to proceed this discussion with you and your company. And now I would like to thank you, Maksym, for this presentation, for this demo. It was very interesting, and I believe that our guests were satisfied with the information they got today.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, and we'll be happy to see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.